I'm trying to see if I can tell jokes that are rotten enough that I actually get executed. Like, let's try.
Monét Talks. Everybody come sit down, let's have a chat. Monét Talks. Living life gossip, chop it up, this or that. Monét Talks. Get comfortable, cause you on the show. Monét Talks. We just wanna know where you been, who you been with. Monét Talks.
Y'all, on Monét Talks, we are being graced with the presence of a legend, an icon, a statement, a star. It's a Margaret show. Hi, Margaret.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing well. I think before we start, we have to acknowledge this amazing little diva. Her name is Lucia. I'm calling her Lucia de la Mamor after the iconic Donizetti opera.
Beautiful.
Because she's giving me Lucia. Are you an opera fan?
I only know a little bit, but yeah, now I have to listen to that one.
Yeah.
Sounds beautiful.
I mean, the main star, Lucia, she does have a mad scene. Like, she goes a little crazy, but they're also trying to, like, marry her off to this person she's not in love with. So her mad scene is warranted.
Okay.
You know?
I'm glad. She needs to make a fuss. If she doesn't want to be married to somebody.
She shouldn't have to be.
No.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think one of my favorite things about you is how much drag queens love Margaret Cho. Can I tell you, you do not know how many queens have clips of your stand-up in their drag numbers. Have you ever seen these?
I haven't.
Okay, next time you come,
I need to see.
Yeah, I have 3 numbers with your things in it.
I love it.
Yes,
I'm so honored.
Oh, it's great because your stand-up lends itself to good drag mixes. So the drag queens love a good Margaret Cho.
I love it.
Audio.
I need to be present for it because I just didn't know. I'm a big fan of drag queens as well.
Yes, because it's a symbiotic relationship. We love you and you love us.
I love you. Yes.
And I also want to officially take this time to apologize. A couple years ago, you did Ebony and Irony with me and Lady Bunny.
Yeah.
And Lady Bunny was in rare form. She was going, I don't know what was on her biscuit that she was going insane. And the whole time I was like, Margaret Cho is probably going to hate me because Lady Bunny would not stop talking and being a psychopath. So I want to apologize officially for that.
Oh, don't apologize. You know what? It's fine. And it's fine. I didn't notice that. I mean, I know Lady for a long time.
Yeah.
So I'm used to it. I don't remember. What was she upset about?
I mean, she went in about politics, and then she started talking about, I think this was around the time the incident happened in Atlanta at the masseuse.
Yes.
Yeah, and she went on like a 10-minute rant. I was like, Bunny, what are you talking? I was like, oh my God. I was like, this cannot be my first meeting with Margaret Cho. But Bunny, it was insane.
She's very political. No, I didn't. I actually didn't think about it that way.
Okay,
I mean, you don't have to worry about it. But no, I know Bunny's very political.
Yeah, she is.
She's she's very passionate, and she has her views that are very, very well thought out.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was doing research. I cannot believe you went to an arts high school in San Francisco.
Yes, I went to San Francisco School of the Arts. So, like a fame school.
Same, I did too for high school in New York.
So you went to the real one.
No, I didn't go to LaGuardia. I wasn't good enough for LaGuardia. So I went to the one down the street, PPAS.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What was your major?
My major was vocal.
Oh, what beautiful.
Yeah, vocal music, yeah. That's when I fell in love with opera and yada, yada, yeah.
Do you sing opera?
I do. Yeah, I just did a role. I just did a role with Colorado Opera for an opera there, and yeah.
What is the vocal conditioning for that? Like, what is your routine that you do?
So, like, I have opera singer friends who this is their they only do opera. So I'm like, I dip in and I dip out. But after I sang the aria in Drag Race and everyone saw that, people were like, oh my gosh, she's like a real singer. So for me, I can't. Leading up to the 2 months going into a thing, I cannot do any spicy food. I'm not eating after 9. Because I get really bad acid reflux and it fucks up my shit. Acid reflux is my number one enemy. But I have other friends who they only speak for 2 hours a day. They get really crazy. My schedule, my thing is not that bad, but I just had to watch the acid reflux.
Yes, but what kind of exercises do you do?
Ooh, lots of trills, and I do lots of things I stretch my voice yeah. Do a lot of those every morning, and little things I learned.
I mean, you must have the diaphragm.
The diaphragm, yeah, the diaphragm energy.
The breath control. I mean, I think it's such a it's such a lost art,
Yeah.
but
Well,
it's
in
amazing.
Europe, they love opera.
Mm.
Like, in Europe, they really are like, people go out to the theater like as families and they like watch it like they're going to see like a show at AMC here. But in America, we're just like, no, thank you.
Well, we know less about anything. We're just not very cultured about anything.
No, which is so crazy because we're such a multicultural people. There are literally people from every single walk of life in New York, in like a city block. You can meet like 10 different cultures, but everyone is like, we're going to keep to ourselves and just learn about our thing and hate everyone else.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
kind of,
Yeah.
it sucks. But
Yeah.
here we are.
I did, when I did burlesque, I would do a striptease to an opera. I did a striptease to Tristan and Isolde.
Oh my God, really?
It was very, like, it was a very long, labored fan dance.
Uh-huh.
And it was very slow. And it was kind of a little bit like the Mikado. Like, it was like a little bit of that sort of ballet. So it started
Yeah.
with a kimono
Yeah.
and like a very slow kind of dance. But it was like, it was very slapstick because at the end, I would reveal a prosthetic penis.
Work.
So I would strip all the way down.
I'm obsessed with that.
And then I had a very realistic looking prosthetic penis. And but it wasn't a statement on having a trans body, or
Yeah.
it wasn't any sort of statement on anything like that. It was just this thing of like, what if I got naked and I had a penis?
Yeah.
I think now, like, if I did it now, it would have a trans meaning, because that's so much in the public sort of forum now to think
Yeah.
about. But back then, it was in 2008, so I wasn't even thinking about it. But yeah, I would use opera. That was the only time I've ever really used opera in my work.
Wait, so why did you, I was always curious about your burlesque era.
Mhm.
Like what, like, cause was it like, I've been doing comedy for so long, killing it. You like, you just want to just try a new art, a new avenue of expression?
Yeah, I love the world of it. And I had been doing different things around it. Like I'd been belly dancing and like did like burlesque classes. And I thought, would be fun to take all these burlesque performers, especially in New York, people like Dirty Martini and Joe Boobs and, like Tigger, get them to do a show with me. So that was the impetus. So we had a really great time doing it. I mean, it was at the Zipper in 2008. And I mean, it's something that like, I look back at it now, like, wow, that's so amazing to actually have like survived to do a burlesque show like off Broadway for several months, but we
Yeah.
actually did.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a lot of us like big city girls, right? I'm born and raised in New York. You're born and raised in SF. So I think it's like, I had so much art around me and experienced so much art. Like, I was like, there's no way I can, I was intrigued by so much of it. I was like, there's no way I can only just do the music thing. I also want to do the little dance. I
Yeah.
also want to do a one-woman show. I also want to do some stand-up.
Right.
And I'm here in this, I'm going to call this my second act, because my first act was working at a hotel.
Uh-huh.
I worked at the Holiday Inn JFK.
Wow.
The things I saw at that hotel,
Wow.
we had hourly rate rooms, just to let you know
Yeah.
the thing. And I first worked as housekeeping there, and then I got promoted to
Wow.
front desk. And the
Uh-huh.
things I would clean up. Anyway, we can get into that. But then I found drag,
Yeah.
and then now I'm doing stand up now, which I am obsessed with.
I love it.
It's all just so fun. I'm like, if you're an artist, like allow yourself to explore and pivot and create and do different things. That's what
Right.
I love about that's as being a very big Margaret Cho fan. Like you just pivot and you try out these different things without. It seems like without fear. I don't know if
Yeah.
there is fear, but it seems like there's no fear around it.
Well, there is some fear, but then at the same time, it's like you also want to be an entertainer.
Yeah.
But I love that. I think drag and stand-up comedy is very similar,
Totally.
you know?
Totally.
So, and burlesque and drag is very similar.
Very, very much.
So there's similar worlds, but I love that you love stand-up comedy.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, to your point. So like years ago, my agent, 4 years ago, my agent came to me. He was like, "Hey, would you want to do a Santa special?" I was like, "A Santa special?" I was like, I don't do stand-up. He's like, well, you do stand-up. I was like, I don't. He's
Yeah.
like, Monet, I've seen your shows in New York. And
Yeah.
like, you're doing stand-up, but you're not
Yeah.
calling it that.
Right.
And then I sat down for like 2 months. I wrote a bunch of material.
hmm
And then I started this stand-up journey 4 years ago. And here I am. And I'm so happy doing these weekends at comedy clubs and doing
It's great.
and it's of all the artistic avenues I've done, there's something so rewarding about just standing on stage and a room full of people, see people just coming to hear you tell jokes and you drifting from your material and just kind of playing with them. I love that feeling of it.
I love
so much.
it.
I love the feeling.
Now, do you go with an opener, or do you just go with whoever the club books?
So I do whoever the club books.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When I did my tour, I normally do a local queer owned opener in the scene.
Cool.
No straight people.
That's great.
No straight.
That's the best.
No straighties.
Yeah, don't mess around.
No. Also, I had one opener in Spokane, Washington. I'm not gonna say the name, but towards the end of his set, he was fine. He started getting transphobic at the end, and I was like, "Now you are opening for Monét X Change, the drag queen. You can assume what the audience is, and you come in with transphobic material."
That's terrible.
I was gagged.
That's terrible.
Now I had to come in there. Now I'm gonna come and make fun of you for being an asshole, and then now I you know what I mean? So it was crazy that he had transphobic material at a drag show.
It's so tired.
I know, right?
It's just so tired. It's like the one part of, like, we have to lift the trans community up so much.
Yes.
Especially right now. It's so scary.
Yeah.
Where we have this administration who's trying to legislate a genocide.
Yeah. Literally.
It's like they're trying to create an into law.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why that community has been so persecuted. Like, what is the point of that?
I don't know. I think it's a religious thing. Like I don't know. I feel like I've racked my brain trying to figure out what the angle is on literally less than 1% of our population. Like, what is the problem with this? Literally less than like, why?
It doesn't make any sense. Like, also the obsession with fairness in women's sports, where why not fairness in women's lives? Like, let's start with fairness in women's equity in business.
Yes.
In, like, jobs.
Yeah.
And healthcare.
In their in women's existence. Like,
let's have equity first in women's lives.
Yeah.
If you're like, fairness in women's sports is such a small, like, you're talking about maybe 15 athletes. Like, it's so weird. It's like, we want fairness in women's sports. Like, why do you care so much about women? So you've never cared about women's sports.
Ever.
Like, ever.
Yeah.
About anything in women's sports. What about the sexual assault in women's sports?
Yeah.
What about, like, all of the stuff that Larry Nassar did? Like, what about, like, all of the predators in women's sports? What about, like, just the inequality?
Doesn't make any sense.
In women's sports.
In those years ago when the USA gymnastics girls, Simone Biles and Allie Raceman, those girls were talking about all literally the sexual assault that exists in women's sports, and nothing from the right about how, like, it was, but now you want, now this is the issue that you want to stand on and die
just
about.
that there's like 15 athletes that you want to take out. I mean, that you're taking the whole, I mean, it's so absurd and it makes no sense. And then also, like, what is the end game there? The end game is to erase trans people.
Yeah.
And it's just a nightmare. So the fact that we have this, we have to stand together as the gay community has to really protect the tea. It's like, it's the most important thing right now.
I agree. Again, you've been doing comedy. You've been doing comedy since the beginning of your career. How do you feel? Like, do you feel gatekeepy about? Because I know some comedians are really touch and go with, like, this new generation of, like, TikTok comedians and people who, like, and, like, you see these people who are funny on TikTok and they're at clubs and stuff. And I know some comedians are like, no, that's not real comedy. How do you feel about that kind of comedy?
I love it.
Okay.
I there's a lot of, like, TikTok comics that I just really admire and I really laugh and I love to watch them. And I think that if it translates, then it translates. I think that if they can take what they do in this, like, little format and then move it out to the stage, I think it's genius.
Yeah.
And if an audience can come out and see them, I think it's a really welcome thing.
Yeah.
I love it. I don't have a sense of, like, propriety over, like, who's allowed to be a comedian.
Yeah.
Anybody, you don't even really have to be funny. Anybody who sells tickets can be a comedian.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
That's why you have all of these people that are, like, go from, like, reality television and they do comedy.
Yeah.
Because they're, like, they can sell tickets.
You can sell tickets to
I mean, to a certain extent, it might be harder to come to comedy from background like that because you're in a different sort of space. But, if you can sell the tickets, you should be able to do it.
Yeah. Well, I've always been curious about how you do your material, because I think something that I've noticed from, like, maybe like a generational comic thing. Like when you look at like your specials, like Chill Revolution and like your first special, like there is this through line, this thread that you weave through the whole thing that ties the whole thing together. Whereas I feel like today when I watch the special, it just feel like just a bunch of jokes in the thing.
Mm-hmm.
So like. With the weaving of the thread through the whole thing, I just think it's such a. I feel like that's such a technique and it's so masterful. Like, was that intentional? How you do?
Thank you.
That way?
I think so. I think you have to. I mean, I think that's what I'd like it to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like I want to have a point to it. Like you want to have a sense of we're doing this for a reason, and that there's like a real motive behind all of the jokes. Like my current show that I'm working on, I'm trying to write it out and I want to tour with it. It's like I want to make fun of Elon Musk and Donald Trump because they hate when people make fun of them. And they're the richest men in the world, but they cannot afford jokes at their expense.
Yeah, it's insane.
That's like, I think the whole point of it is I want to be able to tell jokes at their expense so that's the one thing where they experience poverty. And also, I'm trying to see if I can tell jokes that are rotten enough that I actually get executed. Like, let's try and see. Like, not just deported, which is already on the way, I'm sure. But let's see if I could actually get executed. Like, let's try. Let's like, are we in Russia? Maybe. So that's the point.
Well, I mean, so like, do you? I'm always curious about people who are huge megastar comedians like you. Do you go do time at local things to like kind of work with you? You really?
Yeah.
So if I was, there's a chance I could stumble into Margaret show just doing time at like a.
Oh yeah, you have to. Don't you do sets around town?
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
you do. You have to.
But I mean, I'm not Margaret Cho, right? I'm not like I don't have 8 comedy specials. Like that's so cool that I could just someone can stumble in and see you doing time at a spot.
We always have to because you're always testing out what is like the next thing you will. Well, comedy is the one thing that we can't ever really be sure. Mm-hmm. So we always you need the audience to complete it.
Yeah, totally.
You don't have it finished unless it's the art that needs the appreciator to be there, or else it doesn't exist.
Yeah, totally.
So, I have to do sets all the time.
Wow. And then so with your new hour, so the hour you're working on, oh, sorry, baby. Ooh, Lucia is so okay. Wait, sorry, I have ADHD. Is Lucia? Does she have siblings or is she by herself?
She has 2 cat sisters and 1 cat brother, 2 Sphinx, just like Caroline.
Yeah. Colleen.
Oh, Colleen.
Yeah, yes.
Colleen is
such yes, I know you have 2 Sphinxes.
Colleen is such a funny name. I thought it was Caroline from the Andre 3000 song.
Caroline, you need to go to calculator to divide. Caroline's a good name too. No, she's Miss Colleen. Well, here's the thing. She's a Sphinx. Okay, I love having a Sphinx. Very affectionate.
Yes.
She loves to cuddle. The only thing is that I don't know about your Sphinxes. Because she started growing hair.
Oh, mine too.
Okay. They don't tell you about this.
They grow hair sometimes.
I didn't know that. I thought I wanted a bald. I wanted my Colleen to look like this the whole time. But now she is full on a little.
Did she get like a little hair around her legs?
No, she has like a thin layer all over, Margaret.
Cute.
No.
That's funny.
No, I wanted a bald cat.
She was sticky bald before?
Yeah, she was sticky bald before.
Yeah.
And then at about 6 months, I noticed, I was like, okay, maybe it'll be like, and then at 8 months, it's fully like she has like a thin layer of hair over her entire body. Her tail and her face is a little puffier, but everyone's just a thin layer over her entire body.
Oh, so cute.
I know. Also, at 8 months, I took her to the vet, just regular checkups as a kitten, and she had a little heart murmur.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I took her to them, and the vet was like, where you got her from, you just let them know that she had a murmur, just so they can like check the litter and make sure. And,
yeah.
So I go back home. I call them. They were PA Sphinx. I call them like, hey, this is Monét. Just so you know, I just came back from the vet, and Colleen, she has a little heart murmur. They told me to let you guys know. He was like, oh, do you want a new one? And I was like, no, I don't want a new one. I'm calling to let you know that there may be
Mhm.
that you guys should check the reader. I was like, well, you have until a year. You have until 12 months. After 12 months, you can't get a new one. So if you want it before that, let us know. We could trade you for a new. I was like, she's not a sweater girl. I can't just like
No,
go in there and
no.
like swap. I've bonded with her for
Yeah,
6 months
just your
now.
baby.
Yeah, that was insane to me that was their response. Just trade
Yeah,
her out like a sweater.
yeah.
Like I'm going to American Eagle to get a new one.
No,
Yeah.
never,
How are yours?
never.
You have two of them.
I have 2, and then I have a Lycoy, which is like a werewolf cat.
Ooh,
But
like a Maine Coon-ish?
kind of like he has like half fur, so like
Okay.
half a sort of a very fluffy cat, and then he loses half of it every year. But so he's a little bit like one of those hairless breeds,
Cute.
but he's a beautiful boy. So they're I have a lot of animals.
Do they all get along?
Yeah,
Okay.
she humps them though. She's like the boss.
Lucia, you humping
She's
the cat.
the top. She's humping. They are like, we don't know what's going on. They're very like, what? That's very funny.
Yeah, everyone's telling me like you can't just have one. You have to get a second cat. I'm like, I know, but
It depends. I mean, I think everybody's different.
yeah,
And cats are always different. Some people, some cats are very solitary,
yeah. Yeah, I think I mean, so every time I go away, I had to like put her up at I have like a cat that I watch, and she has like 2 cats and a dog, and Colleen loves. So anytime I go away, sometimes for like a month or so, she has a nice little vacation with some animals. When she's
That's
home,
nice.
she's solid. My boyfriend has a dog, but they don't play. I wish they played and like cuddle and stuff together, but they don't. Yeah.
It's cute.
Yeah. So wait, Alive and Livid is
Mhm.
about the premise is about this whole thing, like making fun of these 2 fucking assholes.
Yeah, and just kind of like building it up and trying to just be as rotten as I can, which I think is, I mean, like to me, that's like the weapon that I'm forging in this like apocalypse.
Yeah.
Like, because we all have to like come at it with our own weaponry.
Yeah.
So mine is like, I'm just trying to make fun of them.
Yeah. I was to ask you this because sometimes I feel because I am a forward-facing person in the queer community, and I'm Black and queer. Do you ever feel like you have to be an activist for Asian folk or queer folk because you are famous?
I
Like-
guess, well, I don't know, because I just like it.
Mhm.
Like, 'cause I have a lot to say about it. So I think that, I might do that whether I was in the public eye or whatever, like to me, it's important, especially queer issues, because it's just like something that I was raised to believe. My parents had a gay bookstore, and
Right.
in the 70s, all the people that worked there were early followers of Harvey Milk. So I was raised around queer politics as a really young kid.
Yeah.
So it's, to me, a very familiar world.
Mhm.
It's a world that I would rather engage in than not,
Yeah.
And I think it's more important now than ever, and also with Asian American issues too, it's very important to just talk about race in a way that is something that makes sense to me, especially with all this idea of like taking away DEI or DEI being somehow, and there's negative connotation to it, which is such a myth.
Yeah.
It's not right. I mean, capitalism would never stand for handouts. Capitalism is not about handouts. DEI is really because they know that queer people, people of color, women, anybody who's different is going to work harder and be better at whatever they do
Yeah.
than anybody else because they get half of the credit.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
So DEI is a way to actually enhance business
Yeah.
and to increase your productivity.
Yeah.
It's just not a handout.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah. I also love, I saw this today about how like because when everything happened and they were rolling back DI places like Target, which I shop at Target. I'm going in there at least once a week, buying God knows what, going to buy a stick of gum. I walk out with a fucking sofa. I'm like, how?
Yeah.
How did I spend $800 at Target?
Yeah.
So, it's been a concerted and a very hard effort to go somewhere else and go somewhere local. They have these Vallarta supermarkets here in LA, which I'm like, I'm supporting them. I'm glad I'm gonna go to there. Sometimes they don't have some things I want, but I just grit my teeth and I make it work. But I saw today they've lost almost nearly $1 billion since
Good.
January. And I
Good.
said February is gonna be even crazier that they've
Good.
lost. So I'm like, this idea, this notion that they're trying to sell us that boycotting doesn't work, that rolling back DI is necessary and it's going to happen anyway. I'm like, when these fucking companies start losing more money, they will change their tune so fucking fast. We just got to just stay the course.
We have to.
And yeah, you can't get the typical pink Iceland lemonade salt that you want, but just get the regular salt for a little while. And you know what I mean? So I'm so happy that's my form of protest.
Yeah, boycotting really works.
Yes.
Boycotting is really, I mean, it's a powerful tool. I mean, look at Tesla.
Yes.
It's truly fantastic what people are doing. And I mean, it's global too, which I think is really, really important. So, I mean, I think that's the one place where we have power.
Yeah.
And I'm on a personal, ever since the election, I started a no-buy and I was forecasting for 4 years, where I'm only buying things that are like the bare minimum, like basically just food, and not buying anything. Like there's just a consumer blackout because I don't want to contribute to this economy or this administration. Mm-hmm. It's really challenging because I love to shop and I love to buy stuff and I can't buy anything.
See, okay, now that's discipline, Margaret. I'm gonna try to get there.
It's hard.
I'm gonna try to get there, Margaret. I will try to get there.
It's really hard, but I'm using up all of my beauty product, because I buy so much skincare and stuff, and I buy doubles of things. So now I'm actually using everything.
Oh my God, I'm a double buyer too. I'm not crazy Costco though. My boyfriend will go and buy 2. We do not need 3 things of ketchup. We use 1 a year. So I'm not that crazy, but I'm a double buyer. If I go to the supermarket, I buy 2 Listerine things, all that stuff. But yeah. Okay.
But I do that with beauty and skincare and anything. Also, if I like something, I'll buy 2 or 3 different colors of it. Whatever, something. So to not buy anything is very weird.
Yeah.
So it's been since November.
Right.
I've been pretty good.
Yeah. We got to talk about your music.
Yes.
Which I did not know that you had so much music out. You have 3 albums.
Yes.
Codependent.
Yes.
American Myth.
Yes.
And now your new album out.
Lucky Gift.
Lucky Gift.
Yes.
So okay, so when did the shift? Because we've talked about all the different art forms you dabble in. When did the music one come into play?
Well, I've always played music since I was a kid, and I just wanted to do it more on a professional level. And it's something for me. It's I finally figured out my genre, which is 90s girl pop, Lilith Fair.
Yes.
Now I'm
this is what it is. The single is the Lucky Gift. It was very that.
That's what I'm trying to do. Yeah. So that to me is really exciting. And I mean, I love to make music, and it's something that I will always do anyway. And for me, it's just about doing that. I don't really know exactly what touring is going to look like with it, but I am doing a music show at the Grammy Museum on April 1st.
So cute, here in LA.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Which
Good
is
to
really
know.
nice. Yeah.
I love that. I love that space because I've been to a few shows there. Mm-hmm. It's intimate. It's vibey. I love going to shows at the Grammy Museum.
It's really cool. So it's for me, it's a really it's my recitals. I'm doing music so infrequently that every time I do it, it's my big recital.
Yeah.
So that's how I look at it.
Because you took an 8-year hiatus.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you were focusing more on comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now you're back in the music thing.
Yeah.
So Lucky Gift came out on Valentine's Day.
Yes.
Was there a specific person?
No.
No?
No. Also, I have taken now I only date for sex and no relationships. That's my goal of
So you're every guy I dated in my 20s.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got it.
I'm really trying to just do situationships until the end.
Love.
I think. Or not even barely situationships. It's just sexual liaisons are fine. But in general, no relationships. Okay,
so since we're I admittedly, I've my boyfriend and I were we had to do an open situation, and I have some different ports and different storms. Are there different ports and different storms throughout because you were an international traveling diva.
Mm-hmm.
Work.
Yeah, and it's nice to be able to go back to people that you've been with before. I love an old time lover that you've had for generations, decades and decades, That's a really nice thing. But I don't think I want to ever get married or have a boyfriend or girlfriend or anything like that.
Like, what about marriage do you detest?
I don't like to live with another person. I find it really, I don't want to, like Linda Evangelista said, she said, I don't want to hear somebody breathing.
Yeah.
And I think so. I think that's right.
Yeah, you know, my boyfriend was the first person I ever lived with. I lived alone since I graduated college. For 12 years in New York. I just always lived by myself. Always came in when I wanted to. Never had to worry about someone using my mustard or forgetting to, you know what I mean? So it was an adjustment, I for sure. So I that sentiment is, you know.
I just hate when, you know, the toilet seat, when there's an asshole print.
God. Yes.
You know what I mean? When somebody's asshole makes a print.
Yes.
I can't. I mean, I could deal with that on the toilet seat in the wild, but at my house?
At my house.
No.
Or with guys, you have to worry about a little ball print on the front.
Oh, no. Yeah,
yes,
that's
especially
right.
if they didn't wash their balls good. There's a little something there.
A little bit of love.
Leave a little love on the toilet seat. So I'm coming in with my Clorox wipe and being like, oh my God.
No.
You know?
It's so weird. I mean, I just like a house that is my house, you know?
Yeah.
I love to live alone. I mean, I love my animals, of course, but I just think, like, at this stage in my life, that's the ideal thing. Like, I just feel very settled and I feel good about it.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, so the entire album is out, Avi, and then so you don't know. So I mean, would you do like because you are doing this like this 90s curly pop? Or maybe some Pride shows? I'm just saying, I love going to a Pride show.
I love it
and having that, because everything doesn't need to be.
Yeah,
we want other queer people listen to other type of music besides pots and pans.
That's
you know?
right. That's right. There's so much there's so much out there. So yeah, I would love to do that.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. And, you know, we'll see what happens. But this year's Pride is going to be very intense because it's going to be all about resistance. It's going to be back to the roots of what Pride was initially, like in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, which was a political protest.
Yeah.
So we have to get back to that.
Do you remember what your first Pride was?
1978.
1978.
Yeah, in San Francisco. And it was, I remember it being like relatively small. You know, from what we see now, it's very different, especially in San Francisco.
Yeah.
But it was like the Dykes on Bikes always gets me going. Like, I always love the roar of the bikes. Like, it makes me cry. Like, I love that very deep.
I'm getting goosebumps hearing you say that. Yeah.
It's a beautiful sound. And it's about queer liberation. So I love it.
What this is the thing that grinds my gears. It's not about Pride, but how conservatives take imagery of Folsom and use that and say, "These is what these queers are doing at Pride." I'm like, no, Folsom is one thing.
Yeah.
Pride is something else, but they love to conflate the two to make
not the same.
To scare people into thinking that that's what all Pride is.
No, and even if it was, who cares?
Yeah.
But Folsom is a totally different. Folsom is its own thing, which I also love as well.
Yeah. Are there lesbians at Folsom?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've never been, so I don't even know.
Yeah. I mean, everybody's represented. Of course, it's mostly gay men.
Yeah.
But everybody's represented in Folsom. And now, like, I hosted Folsom during COVID.
Word.
So we had it online. And that was really incredible because it allowed me to see all of the demonstrations. Because when you're at Folsom, you only get to see a limited amount of things because it's just not enough like space and time. Yeah. But here, like when it was online, I got to see so many incredible kinks. Like I love kink and I love the whole world. And there was a lot of cactus play. So we're using like vegetable-based, plant-based instead of leather. We're going, so it's cruelty-free cruelty.
Okay.
Like we're going, like using cactus as like pain toys.
Oh, wow.
Like cactus and succulents. It's so genius.
Wow.
I love it.
I've never even heard of cactus play.
Yeah.
So every time I think I know I've heard and seen all the kinks, I hear about a new one, cactus play.
Like a cactus play. And then there was one guy who was like all dressed up in duct tape, like, and he just kept sticking and unsticking himself inside the tape. And the sound was the kink. And it was so interesting. I was like, that is amazing. And I think he was really hairy. So then his hair would get caught in the tape.
God.
So that was sort of part of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love fetish. I love kink. I love all of that. I mean, you know, it to me, it's like, it's queerness, but it's like, that's not pride. It's like a whole different
totally
arena.
Yeah.
But I also love it as pride as well. But it's it's like very specialized.
Yeah. My first Pride was Pride 2012. And I was working at the Holiday in JFK, the one I was talking about earlier. And I had told my boss I couldn't go because I made up some excuse, but I was really just going to Pride. And I was like, I can't do my usual 11 to 7 shift. I can do the late night one, the 11 to whatever, 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. And then so I'm like leaving Pride. I'm in my 2009 Suzuki Grand Vitara, and I am speeding down the BQE, going down to JFK, and I'm like in the car, de-dragging and driving at the same time, pulling off wigs, wiping makeup wipes, and then because I didn't have a corset, I used duct tape to put around my waist. Putting duct tape on bare skin that was like trapped for like 7 hours was not the choice. I am now ripping the duct tape off of me, and I ripped a chunk of my flesh, like this big off in the back. So y'all, like so much that you can see the white meat. Like I ripped the skin off. So I still have the mark there. So I will never forget my first Pride because I just ripped a chunk of my skin off.
So intense.
But I needed it. I was like, I have to go to this Pride. I have to go in drag. I wore heels the entire time. I was like, I need this more than I need my next breath.
I love it.
Yeah, it was very exhilarating. Yeah. Okay, so I want to play a little game.
Okay.
It's basically like Madlibs.
Okay.
So Donald Trump's latest executive order aligns so closely with Project 25 that even blank was surprised.
That even Leslie Graham was surprised.
I have to say, this is his daughter. Are we like celebrating his daughter because she's now like a nice person?
Who
was George Bush's vice president? Dick Cheney, Liz Cheney. Liz Cheney is the one we're like, oh yeah, she's good now. But she's a Republican.
Oh yeah, they're both. I mean, but she's like a reasonable Republican.
A reasonable Republican, yeah.
I mean, fairly.
Yeah.
You know, compared to the crazies.
Yeah, that's what's happening now.
Yeah.
Okay, next one. After retweeting a post denying Hitler's atrocities, Elon Musk's next historical revelation will be that blank.
Will be that he has another child on the way.
We don't need any more Elon Musk.
Why does he come so much? It's so gross. It's so gross. Like I'm like, we're basically alerted every time. Like every time he gets like there's like a nut. There's another.
Yeah, he has what, 13 kids now?
14.
14. So we can, on record, we know he has at least climaxed 14 times. And that's very disturbing information
it's
to
so
have.
Gross.
Yeah. Okay, we have 2 more. After shutting down USAID without proper authorization, Elon Musk's next government efficiency move might be to blank.
I mean, he's just going to shut down everything. He's just going to shut down. Well, they're going to try to move Broadway into the Kennedy Center.
Oh my God. Okay, question. If you were asked to perform at Kennedy Center, you're saying
well,
that?
No, I was supposed to do a show there on March 4th, but then it got canceled. I would have done it because I would just like go and say whatever I was going to say. I wouldn't change what I was doing.
And not change it.
No, I would do it. But like, it's so weird. In that picture of Trump, like it's giving very dictator.
100%.
Like when he just like stands up, he's like standing up, like he wants to be like this like dictator, which is like he's cosplaying dictator, like it's fun.
Yeah, which is so sick that your goal is to be a dictator. Like, like of all the things we know of dictators, they've always been bad people, and to know that is your goal. It's so warped.
Sick. But he does look like he's deteriorating. Like every time I see him, like it's like it's just he's like slightly more like there's like the foundation is less. It's just like a little like a weird round.
Yeah.
I don't think he has a makeup artist.
Yo, he's doing himself.
Yeah.
He is 100% doing his own makeup.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
And his hair is so like kind of, it's just barely together and it's got changing color.
Yeah.
Like it's losing its sort of straw color. It's like less and less yellow. It's weird.
Yeah. I want to see Trump on season 18 of Drag Race.
Yeah.
I think he'll definitely be a first out.
Yeah.
But we'll all be happy though, for sure. She's going home first. Okay, last one. Donald Trump called for the impeachment of a judge who halted his deportation plans. What's next? Impeaching judges for blank.
Let's impeach the Supreme Court judges.
Ooh.
let's just get rid of them first. Also, like, I think that he might try to impeach John Roberts for disagreeing.
I know.
You know?
Also, I mean, I had to, admittedly, when we put ACB in, Amy Coney Barrett, I was like, oh God, she's so religious, and but she's been disagreeing. She's been disagreeing, which I am very shocked to see.
Which is, I don't know. I mean, I think that's good. At least she somehow has a conscience around how she's voting. But it's it's all very, very hard to tell.
Yeah. I mean, I think you would make a great Supreme Court justice.
I would be the best.
You would be so good.
I would be the best. I'm like really trying to be the judge in everything. Like I would love to be the judge. And I would love to start being a judge on like television shows, on like crime shows. That would be like, that's the end goal for me.
Well, how have you not been a judge on Drag Race yet?
I have been a judge on Drag Race.
What season were you?
Season 3.
Oh, season 3.
With Raja. Yeah.
Oh, I love Raja so much.
I love Raja too.
She's so good. She's so fucking good.
Raja, yeah.
I mean, we did have you back again, though.
I know.
It's been too long. Season 3 was...
it.
Oh my God, season 3 was
14 years ago. That was like 20 years ago. Like a long time. It's been a long time.
Yeah, we gotta get you back, Margaret.
I need it.
Yeah, also, like, Drag Race has just changed so much.
It
like,
has.
The caliber of drag is like so vastly different.
And now you have a generation of queens who've grown up with it and have aspired to it. So it's very, very exciting.
Yeah. And I mean, I know you've done drag. Well, do you have a drag name though?
I don't have a drag name.
I don't have a drag name, Margaret.
I need one.
You need a drag name. I think that for one of your live and livid shows, you got to come out in full drag.
Okay.
Full dragoons.
That would be good.
I'll do it. I'll paint you.
Perfect. Thank you.
Y'all, we don't usually get great, amazing, super celebrity stars on the show, but we had Margaret's show here today.
I love you.
I'm so grateful. I love you so much. Thank you so much for being here, Margaret.
Thank you.
I love you, love you, love you. Mwah. And y'all, make sure y'all go see Margaret in Live and Livid. Y'all know 8 comedy specials. They're all so good. Although I have to say, it's hard. The first 4, you're hard to find them.
Oh, yeah.
They're on YouTube, but you can't like go on like Amazon or or Apple to get them.
Streaming,
so streaming, you're like, you gotta go. You
gotta go on YouTube. I don't know. They should be released somewhere sometime. So.
Yeah, because they're so good, y'all. You gotta watch any Margaret Show special. They're so fucking funny.
Thank you.
And drag queens around the world, use your shit, girl.
Yes.
We got you in our mixes.
I love it.
Thank you, Margaret, for being here.
Thank you.
And thank you all for swinging up by the couch. I'm Monét. This is Margaret Show. We'll see y'all next time. Peace.
Monét Talks.